Before diving into this incredible story, remember to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here, every story has something to say, and you won't want to miss a single one. Marie Harper stood at the edge of the grave, her heart heavy, staring at the oak coffin that had just been lowered into the damp earth. The sky, heavy with gray clouds, seemed to reflect her grief, and the icy wind whipped through her black coat, making her shoulders, already bruised by loss, shiver. Around her, friends and family murmured condolences, but their words seemed empty, unable to fill the immense void left by the passing of Thomas, her husband of 20 years. She still remembered the day they had met, young and carefree, laughing heartily in a small Brooklyn cafe. Every memory now seemed painfully inaccessible, as if her former life had vanished with him. After the ceremony, Marie returned to their silent home, each room echoing with the memory of his voice, his gestures, his habits. While going through Thomas's things, she came across a small wooden box, hidden behind a drawer in the desk she thought she knew by heart. She had never seen it before. Curiosity and apprehension mingled in her chest as she opened it. Inside were financial documents, photos of places she didn't recognize, and a notebook with a worn cover. As she turned the pages, she discovered with horror that Thomas was leading a secret life. Bank accounts abroad, trips he had never mentioned, and above all, a correspondence with an unknown woman, written with tenderness and intimacy. Each word struck her like a knife. He was not the man she thought she knew. Her heart was racing. How could he have hidden this from her? And above all, did this double life have anything to do with her sudden death? A chilling fear seeped into her veins, but with it, an unexpected determination, to uncover the truth, at any cost. Marie felt as if an invisible storm had just swept over her quiet life. She was alone, but now aware that the life she knew was just a veil, behind which hid a world she could never have imagined. Marie Harper couldn't sleep that night. The house, once so reassuring, felt foreign, almost threatening. The ticking of the living room clock resonated like a cruel reminder of the life she had just lost. Her eyes remained fixed on the notebook she had found earlier that day, lying on the bedside table, as if this small object held all the answers to her questions. When morning came, after a sleepless night, Marie sat down with the notebook on her lap. Each page was handwritten, in Thomas's familiar handwriting but with words she had never read. Secret meetings, bank accounts in exotic countries, coded messages with a woman named Isabella Moore. Her hands trembled as she traced the lines. Why had he never mentioned that name? Who was she really? Marie felt anger rising within her. She thought of the 20 years she had spent sharing her life with Thomas, building a house, dreaming of the future together. Everything now seemed betrayed. She stood up abruptly, knocking over the chair behind her, and decided to search more deeply. In the desk drawer, she found travel receipts and sealed envelopes sent to hotels she had never visited. Her mind swirled with questions. Was it adultery? Was he involved in something dangerous? Curiosity compelled her to open one of the envelopes. Inside was a USB drive and a small, hastily scribbled note. Marie, if I'm ever no longer here, you need to know. Be careful what you discover. Her heart stopped. Thomas had foreseen this day, but why? What did he know that she didn't? Marie took a deep breath and inserted the USB drive into Thomas's computer. The screen lit up, revealing encrypted files, photos, and a video that would change her life forever. Marie felt an icy chill run down her spine. She was no longer simply a widow. She had just opened the door to a secret that threatened to destroy everything around her. And somewhere, in the shadows, someone or something was watching her, waiting to see how far she would go to uncover the truth. Marie spent the morning studying the files on the USB drive. Her mind raced, trying to connect each piece of evidence. The folders contained photos of Thomas in unknown locations, often with a dark-haired woman with a piercing gaze, Isabella Moore. Other files were financial documents, showing massive money transfers to offshore accounts, always accompanied by cryptic notes. She felt her heart beat faster. What was Thomas doing with all that money? Was it legal? Or was it connected to something much more dangerous? Marie knew she had to find out the truth, even if it risked putting her in danger. Determined to take things further, she contacted an old friend of Thomas's, Daniel Whitman, a renowned lawyer in New York. She explained the situation to him without going into financial details. Daniel, concerned, agreed to help her. Together, they began analyzing the files and deciphering the coded messages. It was then that Marie made a discovery that chilled her to the bone. Several files contained specific dates and locations, but also names she knew, relatives, colleagues, and even family members. She realized with horror that Thomas might have been involved in something that threatened not only her own safety, but also that of the people she loved. As she tried to regain her composure, a notification on her phone caught her attention, an anonymous, short, and threatening message. "Stop now, or you'll regret wanting to know everything." Marie's breath caught in her throat. She understood that discovering the truth about Thomas was not only a quest to understand his death, but also a race against an invisible danger, a mystery far greater than she had imagined. For the first time, the once vulnerable widow felt a new determination. She would go all the way, whatever the cost. Marie knew she couldn't back down any longer. The anonymous threats and Thomas's secrets hung over her like a persistent shadow. With Daniel by her side, she decided to follow one of the most intriguing leads, a series of locations mentioned in the files, all linked to Isabella Moore. The first location was a small, unassuming apartment in Brooklyn, far from the bustling neighborhood where she and Thomas had lived. As she approached, Marie felt her heart race. She was no longer simply a grieving widow, she felt hunted, as if each step brought her closer to a dangerous truth. She knocked on the door, hesitant. A woman's voice answered. "Yes?" Marie introduced herself, explaining that she was looking for information about Thomas Harper. The woman, Isabella Moore herself, cautiously invited her in. The apartment's interior was minimalist, almost cold, but every object seemed carefully chosen. Isabella looked at Marie attentively, as if to gauge her courage. "You want to know what Thomas was doing?" she asked calmly. "Know that the truth is never what we think it is." Marie felt a shiver run down her spine. She had imagined 1,000 scenarios, but never this one. Isabella then showed her a detailed file, transactions, secret meetings, and information on influential people, all linked to Thomas. "He wanted to protect you," Isabella murmured. "But by trying to understand everything, you're putting yourself in danger." Before Marie could answer, a dull thud sounded behind the door. Someone was knocking. Panic seized her. Isabella grabbed an envelope and slipped it into Marie's hands. "Take this. It will help you understand what's going on, but be careful. They know you're here." As she left the apartment, Marie realized that her life had just been turned upside down once again. She was no longer just a widow, she was now plunged into a secret, dangerous world where every decision could be fatal. And deep down, a burning question gnawed at her: could she truly trust anyone, even those who claimed to be helping her? Back home, Marie placed the envelope on the table and carefully opened it. Inside was a series of documents and photos detailing secret meetings between Thomas and influential people in the worlds of finance and politics. Each page revealed that Thomas was not simply an ordinary businessman, he appeared to have been involved in transactions that could shake powerful networks. Marie felt a mixture of fear and fascination. Her husband wasn't the man she thought she knew. Every secret, every encounter revealed a side of him that had been completely hidden from her. Daniel helped her organize the documents and create a timeline of events. They quickly identified a pattern. Thomas had gathered evidence of corruption and financial manipulation, but he had also taken care to protect certain people, like Marie and their family. As they examined the files, one detail caught Marie's attention. Several documents mentioned a recurring name, Victor Langley, a powerful financial magnate with a reputation for manipulation. Every transaction, every meeting seemed connected to him. The mere mention of his name sent a shiver down Marie's spine. "If Thomas has crossed paths with Langley," said Daniel, "you must be extremely careful. That man never hesitates to eliminate those who stand in his way." Marie then understood the magnitude of the danger. It was no longer just a matter of betrayal or secrecy, the lives of everyone she loved could be threatened. Yet, deep down, a determination burned brighter than ever. She had to uncover the truth and, above all, protect what little semblance of normalcy remained in her life. That night, looking at the documents by the dim light of her lamp, Marie made a decision: she wouldn't just be satisfied with understanding Thomas's secrets. She would fight to uncover the whole truth, even if it meant confronting Victor Langley himself. And somewhere, in the shadows, she sensed that someone was watching her movements, ready to do anything to keep the past buried. Marie was barely sleeping anymore. Every night, Thomas's documents piled up around her, like a puzzle to be pieced together. Her mind refused to rest, obsessed with one name: Victor Langley. Daniel had advised her to be cautious, but Marie knew she had to act. While reviewing Thomas's files, she came across a folder she hadn't yet opened. It was titled, "For Marie, If Something Happens to Me." Her heart raced. With a trembling hand, she opened the file and discovered a series of videos and encrypted messages that Thomas had prepared for her. In the first video, Thomas appeared, looking serious but with infinite gentleness in his eyes. "Marie, if you're watching this, it means I'm no longer here to explain things to you. I know you'll discover things that will overwhelm you. But know this, you're stronger than you think. Everything I've done to protect you and our family." Marie felt a tear roll down her cheek. She continued watching the video and discovered that Thomas had left instructions to find her should anyone try to destroy the evidence he had gathered against Victor Langley. He had anticipated every danger. Then she found a coded message, an address and a password. Daniel helped her decode it, revealing a secure safe in a small warehouse in Manhattan. According to Thomas, the contents of this safe were the key to understanding the extent of Langley's network and how to defend themselves against it. "Marie," said Daniel, "if we go there, we must be extremely careful. It's not just an investigation, it's a dangerous operation." But Marie knew she had no other choice. The truth was calling her, and she was ready to face whatever stood in her way. She took a deep breath, mustered her courage, and decided to go to the warehouse the next day. That night, as she carefully packed her bag, a figure watched her house from the shadows. Someone knew she had found Thomas's message, and didn't intend to stand idly by. The next morning, Marie and Daniel got into the car in silence. The air was thick with tension, every sound in the city seemed exaggerated. The address Thomas had given them led them to an unassuming warehouse in a quiet Manhattan alley. The place seemed ordinary, almost deserted, but Marie sensed that behind those walls lay the truth she had been searching for weeks. Upon entering, they were struck by the smell of dust and old cardboard boxes. Thomas's safe was waiting for them, exactly where it was shown in the video. Daniel knelt down and used the password Thomas had left, a seemingly insignificant mix of numbers and letters, but one that instantly opened the safe. Inside were explosive documents, contracts, bank statements detailing illegal transactions, audio recordings of compromising conversations, and above all, a bundle of letters and personal notes from Thomas to Marie. These letters explain not only Thomas's double life, but also the reasons for his actions. He had uncovered a corruption network run by Victor Langley, a network so powerful that he had to operate in the shadows to protect his family and loved ones. Marie felt a wave of anger and sadness overwhelm her. Everything she thought she knew about her husband was crumbling, but at the same time, she understood that he had acted out of love and courage. As she examined the documents, a metallic clang rang out behind them. Marie turned and saw a hooded figure, ready to strike. Daniel grabbed her arm and pulled her behind an old cardboard box. "Marie," he murmured, "there's someone here. We have to get out of here, now." But Marie couldn't leave without understanding the implications of what they had just discovered. In a moment of clarity, she grabbed one of the audio recordings and put it in the portable player. A familiar voice, Thomas's, echoed through the warehouse. "If you're listening to this, Marie, know that you're the only one who can finish what I started. Victor Langley must never know that you found this evidence, or everything will be lost." The hooded figure stepped forward, and Marie understood that the danger was not only real, he was just a few steps away from them, ready to do anything to recover what Thomas had hidden. The hooded figure was rapidly approaching. Marie felt her heart pounding in her chest. Daniel grabbed her hand and pulled her toward a fire exit at the back of the warehouse. The two fled into the darkness, the documents and the heavy safe on their shoulders. Every footstep behind them reminded them that danger was imminent. Once outside, in the narrow alley, Marie took a deep breath. The morning light did not reassure them, it only revealed how vulnerable they were. Daniel suggested they separate for a while to lose their pursuer, but Marie refused. She would not abandon Thomas's evidence. Reaching a quieter alley, they quickly examined the documents to understand exactly what Thomas had discovered. The revelations were astounding. Victor Langley wasn't just manipulating financial transactions. He had created a complex network involving corrupt politicians, debt-ridden companies, and even physical threats against those who dared to oppose him. Marie felt an icy chill run through her. She realized that Thomas's death was probably no accident. Someone had eliminated him to keep those secrets buried. A simmering anger rose within her. Daniel. I have to continue what he started. I can't let Langley get away with this. As they were talking, a phone vibrated in Marie's pocket. It was an anonymous message. We know you have the chest. Meet us tonight, or you'll never see your loved ones again. The threat was clear. But Marie understood something even more important. Thomas had left all of this for her, knowing she would be able to face the danger. She mustn't run away, she had to confront Langley, but intelligently. That night, as the city fell asleep, Marie planned her next move. Every action would be calculated. Every decision could save or condemn lives. And deep down, she sensed that the truth about Thomas, about Langley, and about this shadowy network would soon come to light, for better or for worse. Marie spent the day meticulously preparing her plan. With Daniel's help, she decided not to act alone against Victor Langley, but to gather enough evidence to expose him publicly. Thomas's documents and recordings contained everything needed to bring him down, but the risk remained immense. That evening, they chose a safe place to meet with Langley, under the pretext of handing over some of the documents to negotiate. Marie knew this confrontation was a unique opportunity to uncover the truth about Thomas's death and the entire network. She felt both nervous and determined. When Victor Langley arrived, accompanied by two imposing men, his cold, calculating gaze left no doubt as to his power and dangerousness. Marie felt a thrill of adrenaline run through her body, but she remained upright, looking him straight in the eyes. I know everything, she said calmly. I know what you did to Thomas. And I know everything about your network. Langley gave a slight smile, as if he admired her courage, or was mocking her. You are playing a dangerous game, Mrs. Harper. Your husband was just a piece on the chessboard. You don't know what you are getting yourself into. Marie then produced the complete file, showing every piece of evidence, every transaction, every recorded conversation. Langley frowned, realizing that the widow he had underestimated was not only courageous, but methodical and intelligent. Thomas wanted you arrested for everything you've done, she murmured. But he gave me this chance, to expose you to the whole world. Langley, now enraged, tried to seize the documents. But Daniel and Marie had anticipated this reaction. A live recording was broadcasting everything on a secure channel intended for the press and authorities. In an instant, Langley's power crumbled in the face of irrefutable evidence of his crimes. Marie felt a mixture of relief and sadness. Justice had begun to be served, but the truth about Thomas's death remained partly obscure. However, she knew that each secret revealed brought justice closer to the light and, in a way, avenged her husband. After the confrontation with Victor Langley, Marie felt a weight lift from her shoulders, but she knew she hadn't yet uncovered the whole truth. Thomas's files still contained secrets, and some questions remained unanswered. Why had Thomas taken so many risks, and above all, who had really killed him? Upon returning home, Marie immersed herself once again in the letters and videos that Thomas had left behind. She came across a message she hadn't yet seen. Marie. If you're listening to this, it's because you're about to discover something unimaginable. I wasn't just a businessman involved in this network. I was infiltrated to dismantle it from the inside. Every transaction, every meeting, every lie, I used them to gather evidence against Langley and his accomplices. Marie felt her breath catch in her throat. Thomas hadn't just sought to protect his family, he had consciously risked his life to put an end to a dangerous criminal network. In another video, Thomas revealed something even more shocking. I knew Langley would stop at nothing. If anything happened to me, you would have to continue my work. But what you really need to know isn't that I died because of Langley. What cost me my life was betrayal, by someone very close to us. Marie felt a wave of shock and fear. She had just realized that her quest to uncover the truth was far from over. Thomas's death hadn't been an accident, nor solely Langley's doing. An unimaginable personal betrayal had allowed it all to happen. For the first time since the beginning, Marie felt the full weight of the mystery on her shoulders. But this revelation, though terrifying, strengthened her resolve. She had to find out who had betrayed Thomas and why, and ensure that justice was served, whatever the cost. Marie spent the following days investigating the betrayal Thomas had mentioned. Every detail in the files, every word in the letters and videos, had to be analyzed. Daniel helped her cross-reference the information, but deep down, Marie felt she was about to uncover something unimaginable. Then, one evening, while examining the last documents, she stumbled upon a series of coded messages that Thomas had sent to his lifelong best friend, Lydia Bennett. Marie felt her heart sink. She would never have imagined that someone Thomas trusted completely could be involved. Carefully, she confronted Lydia. The woman, initially smiling and confident, gradually lost her composure under Marie's determined gaze. The confession came: Lydia had been manipulated by Victor Langley for years. She had divulged information about Thomas's movements, believing it would help her own career in the business world. She had never imagined it would lead to Thomas's death. I didn't know it would go this far, stammered Lydia, her eyes filled with tears. Marie, her heart heavy but resolute, knew that justice had to take its course. With Daniel, she handed over all the evidence to the appropriate authorities. Langley and his accomplices were arrested, and Lydia, though betrayed by her own choice, had to answer for her actions before the law. Finally, Mary stood before Thomas's grave, the wind gently caressing her face. She murmured, "I have found the truth for you, Thomas. And I have finished what you started." For the first time in weeks, she felt a fragile but real peace. She had discovered the unimaginable, faced danger, and done justice to the man she had loved. Her world had changed forever, but she was ready to rebuild her life, stronger and more determined than ever.